Hello, it's Claina. Welcome to the assembly tutorial for Serenity. Now, Serenity is an angel, and the wings actually are cast with the holes here, so the light actually casts the wings, which then becomes part of the art piece. And that's why the range is called light art, because light actually completes the artwork. Now, Serenity is a sculpture, and it's wall mounted here, and when it's an angel, these are the holes that the light casts through, and the wings are projected against the wall when you've got it wall mounted. But Serenity can also be many other characters, ornaments for you, and there's a whole list of them, and we've got a suggestion list, ideas that we're going to keep adding to, because with the inspiration team we keep all coming up with more and more ideas. If you look at Serenity, obviously it's an angel, but we've got a character in a cloak. It's either a dress or a cloak or a gown or a cape with nice wide sleeves. Now, you can obviously use this as so many different characters. The other thing to note as well is it's got a nice sturdy flat base, so it is freestanding, so you don't have to have it as a wall mounted piece. Now, with the back here, you've got an opening where the lights go inside, so the lights go inside here to cast through the holes. But if you want it as a freestanding ornament as a different character, then you do not need to have an open back. You can have this closed off, so it can go against a wall, and then it can just be a freestanding piece. You don't have to have these cutouts in it. I'll show you that in a moment. So you don't have to add the halo, and then you can change the color. And actually that is what I'm going to do for this assembly tutorial, because you can see how it looks when this is actually done in cream. So if you do it all in cream or white, I think that does look very angelic, but you can use other colors to change it into different characters. Some of the ones that I had originally when I was designing it, I've gone a step further, and I have actually introduced some pieces into your die set, and I think I'm going to show you in a separate video what those pieces can be. It'll be a short little video, but I think it'll be really handy. So in this video I'm going to show you how to put Serenity together, but just to mention while we're here, you've got the tassel there for a graduate's hat. You've got hymn or carol books. You have got the halo, can be a floral headband. You've got a cross. You've got leaves and flowers, a wand. You've got a candle and a candle plate. So the ideas I had was it can be a bride, a bridesmaid, or you've got some stars here. I was thinking it could be a witch or a wizard. It can be like a princess, a fairy. I was trying to think of all the things that wear gowns or cloaks. So it could be a priest, a vampire. There are so many. And recently we've been saying 3 wise men. So I'm going to have a think and see if there's anything that I've got in my stash that I could make a crown out of. I've got an idea of a couple of pieces that might be great for that. So yeah, so there are lots of ways, because you know me, I don't like to give you a product that just does one thing. So I have tried to put in lots of different extra little dies that do lots of different things, and as a team we're going to be trying to demonstrate as many of those to you as we can. So if you keep an eye out in the group, we'll be popping in some ideas for you. Okay, so first off, in the bundle you will be getting your die set, and your lights. So you're going to get a set of your strip lights and the batteries. So as usual, I will have extra light sets available, but also I'm going to be stocking the batteries. This particular type of battery aren't always that easy to find, so I will be stocking those. So if you need to change the batteries in your Serenity. Okay, so if we look as usual in the 3D projects, you've got a die cut list. Now I will point out to you the pieces that were changed. So these are the pieces that are changed when you want to change your character from an angel to another character. Okay, so this is your back piece. Okay, now that is these two dies here. That's these two dies you put together to create this piece. That's so you've got the piece here for hanging it on the wall. And then you've got the opening so you can get in and change your batteries and turn your lights on and off. But if you don't want to have it wall hanging and you want a freestanding ornament, say you want a carol singer, that's what I'm thinking of making today. So if you just use the external piece, that will give you your closed off back. So that's the first thing to take note of. And then the other two pieces are the pieces where the light is cast out. Okay, so we've got our side sections. If I show you here, so these pieces, this piece here. So the way you create it, now it's all in your die cut list here, these two pieces. So you want the little scallop pieces going in the different directions. Now to do that, you take your external piece here and then you cut it once with that piece at the top, and that gives you this one. And then you remove that piece and you pop this one in, and that gives you that piece. So those are the two sides. Now I've actually doubled up on my sides and my back piece and my base piece today because I'm actually using lightweight cardstock. I wanted this colour in particular. It's like a really lovely kind of burgundy colour, and I thought that would be really cool for a carol singer. So I've got 216 GSM, you know, that kind of texture card that lots of companies do. So I'm doubling up on my sides. So these pieces here, my back and my base. So I'm doing two of each of those because those are the pieces that I want to be most sturdy. Okay, so the last piece then that I'm changing is this piece that goes over. It's kind of like the shoulder piece. So it goes from there across the back of the neck and down. So that comes in two pieces. And here it is. So that is attached like that. So that's got the little scallops in. So because I'm not doing an angel today, all you do is you just remove these internal pieces and you just cut the outside piece without the little insert, and that's all that you do. That then will give me solid side pieces and this solid shoulder piece without the holes. So all the way over our back and our shoulders, we're all solid because we're not casting any light, we're not creating any wings. Oh, and of course I don't have a halo because I'm not doing an angel. But I am going to do a hymn book. Actually, no, I'm going to do a carol, what do you call them, carol book? A book of carols. So So what I'm doing is I am taking my little book, and then you've got these little, these are like, they give you indented, debossed decoration, and I'm going to use the candle one for the front of my book. Okay, so let's take a look at all the die cut pieces. There you go, you can see the debossed detail on the front of the book. So I'll just give it a fold. And there's my little hymn book, or, you know, book of carols for my little carol singer. Those are all the pieces that I need to create my carol singer. Okay, so the head is like a sphere with a neck on. So this is pretty straightforward. We'll fold along all of our score lines. Now the bottom couple of folds are valley folds, but all of the rest are mountain folds. So I like to add glue to one of the center pieces and then work up and down from there. So I'll go around and add all of those 6 pieces together and then do the neck afterwards. It's handy having an opening in the base there, so I can get the rubber on my pencil in to help me with those last couple of little tabs. Okay, so that's all done. So I have to get the order of the tabs on my neck the right way round. Glue those. It's just a little bit too small for my finger, so my pencil will come in handy again. Just to push against, do those tabs up. Okay, and then when your neck's taken hold, I just bend those out for now, and that's ready for popping in the body. This is just 2 pieces that glue together, and these strange looking tabs are on the outside, and that's just so when we've got the holes in that it doesn't, the tabs don't block the light going out to form our wings. So that's why the tabs are strange shapes. Okay, I'll just let that dry a minute. Okay, so these pieces, these again have got scoops in the tabs, and that's so they don't block the light. So we need 3 of those, but the middle one, we're going to cut those tabs off, the side tabs, because we don't need those, because we've got the tabs on the outer 2 pieces. Okay, so you just need to fold on the tabs. You can slightly fold along the triangular piece in the middle if you like, but it's just it's not a real fold, it's just to bend it slightly to go around the shape of the body. Okay, so again, I've got 3 of these pieces, and the center one I cut the tabs off. So I'll join these together by just gluing on this strange tab shape. Okay, this one's dried now, so I'm going to fold along my little fold lines. Sorry if you can hear that noise, it's raining. It's been raining a lot for days actually. It's raining quite heavily at the minute. Okay, so this joins here and comes round like that, but I'm actually gonna do that on the actual piece itself. Okay, so I mean one side is basically going to be the front of your head, so you can take a look and see if there's one that's more pleasing to you. I mean, it shouldn't really be any difference, but you know, it's worth me pointing these things out. Okay, so I'll just add a little bit of glue to that central piece there. It's always nice to anchor pieces on. Let them take hold. And then you don't have to fuss with them so much when you're putting it together. It's not sliding around on you. Okay, now I'll do the side two tabs. Okay, now this bit goes on the back, so this kind of cutout piece here is where it goes into the neck. And this then becomes the, I guess, shoulders. Okay, so the last tab on the neck, and then joins into the side tabs on the other piece, and that closes that circle up. Next piece we're going to do is this front kind of bodice piece. So we've got 3 of these. And these are all mounting folds, so folding away from you. I'll join these together first. Okay, now once you put those three pieces together, you've got a spare tab on the end. So we'll just take that one off. There. Okay, now this goes around the front of the body. So it goes round from the front of that shoulder to the front of that shoulder. Just there. Okay, the next section is the skirt, and the side piece actually joins onto this like bodice piece and the skirt. So we'll pop the skirt on, and then the side section will go on both. Okay, so with this skirt piece, you've got the little piercing detail, and that is actually, if you look at Serenity here, you can see that's in the back, and the folds come out either side of it. So those are valley folds, which means towards you, either side of that piercing detail. Now, if you have a look at the die pieces, I've actually popped in 2 extra designs to go in there if you want to change your character up a bit. So there's one that puts little star cutouts in your skirt, so if you're doing a witch or a wizard or something like that. And then there's one I just did with a row of circles. So if you want to put a row of circles, it just means light can come through as well if you're going to be lighting it up. So, and you know, it's just nice to have more options. Okay, so let's have a look. That top one, I guess, is kind of like a valley fold as well. And then, so we've got those 2 valley folds. The one at the top of the valley fold, that's towards you. Then the one down the side is a mountain fold, which is away from you. And then you've got a tiny little extra one that's a valley fold on that corner there. Okay, so when you glue these pieces together, that tiny little extra tab at the top actually comes over and just goes behind that next one there, here at the top, at the very top here. So they come out to make the fold in the skirt. Then you've got that extra little bit of overlap there. Okay, so let's put our 6 pieces together just like that. Okay, they're kind of getting flattened while I'm joining it, but because the paper's already been trained that way, it's okay, because once I'm happy that they're that the glue's taken hold, I'll just reinforce those folds again, pop them back in. There, lovely. Okay, I'll put all 6 together. Okay, that's all the 6 pieces together. Now this tab at the side I don't need, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay, so now I can join that on to my bodice. Add glue to one of the tabs and join it there, just so I've got an anchor point again, and then I'll join the rest of them on. Okay, there we are, that's attached. Now let's come in with our side pieces. Okay, now I did actually cut 4 of these instead of 2 because I'm using some lightweight card. And I'm feeling it's a bit flimsy as I'm putting it together, so I'm not sure that I would do this again. I think I would stick to a minimum of 250. I mean, I always do like to try a project lighter weight, you know, the 216, because it comes in such wonderful colours. And that's what I was drawn to today, was this nice burgundy colour. But it's definitely better in a 250 GSM. The cream angel that I put together was actually done in 300, which worked out brilliantly. When you're doubling up, you don't need to double up on the tabs, you see. So I'm cutting all of them off. Okay, so you'll need to fold on your score lines before you add your extra piece. Now this is a valley fold, which is towards you, and the rest are mountain folds. Okay, so these pieces without the holes in are exactly the same. When they have got the holes in, you do need to be careful which side of your angel that you pop them in. So the curve of the scallop is towards the front. So the curve, not the kind of scoop, but the outside curve is towards the shoulder, towards the arms. I don't know if that's easy. So in this case, it would be this one. And then on that side, it's this one. So you need an opposite pair when they've got the holes in. But because we're not doing wings, then my pieces are identical. Okay, so I can just attach these in now. So they go right here. I'll pop the glue onto the top tab afterwards. There we go. I'm going to pop the bottom on to add some rigidity before I do the arms. Okay, so I've cut 2 of these. I did with this one anyway, I think. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you want the bottom to be nice and sturdy. Let me have a look. Yeah, I did on the back. So even though this is 300 GSM, I did two layers on the back, 2 layers on the bottom, but I only did 1 layer on the side, and that was fine. That was absolutely fine with that one. But because this is only 216, and it's feeling very flimsy as I'm creating it, I'm hoping it will firm up as the pieces are joined together. But if not, I can let you know. And so yeah, I think if I pop the bottom on, it'll add a bit of rigidity while I'm popping the arms on, but I want my back piece to go on last. It's easier to put one inside, glue onto the outside of it, because those pieces overlap. So we're going to put the glue on, we're going to glue onto the outside of it, so the tabs will be shown, then we'll put our other one over and cover those tabs over. I'm not sure, it might be better to put the glue on the inside of the tabs, but we've got both now. So you'll want to fold these round nice and tightly and hold them till they take hold. We want some nice sharp folds here. So once one side's taken hold, just come around with the other side and overlap. Right, so I've got my second piece, but as I was saying earlier, when you're doubling up on your layers, you don't need 2 lots of tabs. So I'll just cut that off and I'll pop that onto the bottom. Okay, so I've got an extra of the kind of chest pieces above the bodice. I thought it might be nice if my carol singer looked like they've got like a V-neck in their cloak. So I thought I'd just cut out that central little V and pop that on. So it would go right there. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's give it a try. So I need to make sure that it comes right up to the neck. I want it to look continuous. There. Look like my carol singer's got a V-neck. Okay. Right, so that's the base on. So that's looking all nice and neat, and it's got a bit more strength to it. So my carol singer is freestanding now. So we haven't popped the back on. I want to do the arms before I put the back on, because you know, like when you're gluing pieces on, it's nice to kind of push from the inside and the outside at the same time. Right, so the arms are actually comprised of 3 pieces. So you've got these pieces here, and then you've got this bit. Now this piece here is this piece here. It's just that bit in the middle there. So these are valley folds. So the outer piece, outer tabs are mounted folds. The ones at the top and bottom, and then the 3 creases or joins, you know, folds along the center are all valley folds. So we've got our 2 arm pieces. So they actually go like that, and that little piece that sticks out is the one piece that joins them together. So let's go along and fold along the score lines. Okay, so I folded along all of the score lines. And then, so these pieces actually join. There's a tab here where they join together, and then there's that small little tab there. It joins together, and then this piece comes in and joins here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now this piece is a lot less complicated than it looks, because most of these tabs are all around the perimeter are actually just to glue it onto the front of the of Serenity. So yeah, it's not very complicated at all. So don't worry. Okay, we're going to connect this piece in now, and this piece goes here, just like that. And then you've got those couple of tabs there at the sides to connect it in. And as you glue this piece in, the rest of it kind of takes shape. These 3 up here are all valley folds, all folds inwards, and that's like the shaping across the top of the lower arms. Okay, so we've got these couple of tabs here. That's that side done. That's the other side done. And then the rest of the tabs are all just for gluing it into place. So if we fold them inside, we'll see there's lots of them. And that's what a majority of it was. What you might want to do before you put your glue on is just offer it up, so you're getting in your mind where it's going to go. It might just stop you from smearing glue everywhere. It's really easy though. So bend that and make sure these are folded inwards, and then it's the right shape. Okay, so what you want to do, it goes there on this bodice section, you know, that's kind of like just straight up and down. It goes on that bodice section. But the easy bit is the top of the shoulder here glues right there. So on that straight edge there, so these straight up and down pieces, these kind of rectangular pieces, the first one, it's not the side. So let me show you here. You know, in the side with the angel, you've got those little cutout pieces. So it's the very first bodice piece with the little pinholes on. The top of the arm glues to the top of that first piece. So here, this first piece with the little pinhole detail, it glues at the top there. So if I pop it on, it glues right there. And then around the other side, it's exactly the same. It glues right there at the top of that one. Okay, so that is where it sits. That's all you need to know, is where the tops go, and the rest of it just falls into place. Now up here we've got a couple of the tabs overlap a little bit, so we can do those, make sure they've got glue underneath as well as on top, and then we'll go round and we'll add glue to all of these pieces. Okay, that's glue on all of my tabs. Okay, so we go up, and I'm going to hold the top of my arm there in line with the top of that first piece with the pinholes. Then I'm going to bring it round to the other side, and I'm going to do the same there, and I'm going to hold the top of it where the top is there, and then I'll bring the middle down so you know now what your placement is. So you want to kind of go round and encourage all of your little tabs to take hold. What I'm going to do actually is I'm putting my hand in and helping to create that curve. Now look, one of my tabs there has popped off, but that's okay. I'll glue that back afterwards because I want to make sure that my arms are all my tabs are touching where they need to. But that is helping, just putting some shape in with my hand. Okay, now the arms are on, I'm going to put the back on, and I've cut two of these, so I'll just glue those together. So I'm adding glue to all of the tabs all the way around. Okay, because we can't get our hands in there, I'm not going to bend the pieces in too much because we need them to all to touch, get in, you know, have contact. You know, I should have done the bottom tab, I think, to anchor it. I'll do that now. Okay, that's so much better. So I've glued it across the bottom to anchor it, and now I'll just add some more glue because it was sliding around a little bit on me, but now we've got it anchored at the bottom. I popped some low tack tape just around some areas that were taking a little while to glue, but I think they're ready to come off. But so they don't stick, I actually pop them onto the back of my hand to make them even lower tack, so they're coming off nice and easy. But it might have been enough just to hold it, because it's definitely attached now. So I've got my flat back, I've got a flat bottom, so she stands. Okay. So there. Now you've got 3 different book designs. If you do a little like hymn book or carol book. And what I've done is I've just put a little glue dot on there, and I'm just going to pop it there. There. Like it's being held. There you are, see? Okay, so we've got the angel and my carol singer. So the only thing left to do then, when you're doing the angel, is you want to cut 2 of your halos in gold and glue them back to back so it's gold on both sides. And then what I did was I just glued it to that. Oh, sorry, it's off camera. So not the very top triangle, the next section down, and I just attached it just there with a little bit of glue. And then it kind of floats from the front. So that's the way I attach the halo. And then the only other thing then you've got to fit is your lights. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier on before I put the back on, but I would actually put the lights on maybe before I put this trim, because I think you can get in there a little bit easier. This is how it comes. And then you've got your batteries. So this just pops up. It's got a couple of screws there, but you don't need to undo them. That's if you unscrew them, the wires will come out. So to change the batteries, you don't need a screwdriver or anything like that. Just ignore that. It just pops open. And then if you have a look on here, one's got a little cross and one's got a minus. And then if you have a look on here on your battery, that's got a cross on there, so that cross will go face down in that side and face up in that side. So you just look for the little symbols, they're in little circles there. You've got a cross and a minus, so they go in there, and then you close it up. When you want to open it, you'll see here there's a little hole there, so you can put your nails in there, but either side of there, so you can hold it with one, and then you kind of prise those 2 little catches open. Okay, so that's to pop your batteries in or to change batteries. Now with the lights are always slightly longer than you need. So when you trim the lights, and I'll show you how to do that, you just trim them in between, across where those, see, in between the lights, which are the little yellow dots, you've got 2 like copper bits, and then you've got a line down through. You just chop them on that line anywhere you want. On the back you'll see you've got this blue liner. That's because this is self-adhesive, so it's as easy as you like. So what you want to do is you want to actually start gluing it from this end where the battery is, because then when you get to the end you can just snip off any that you don't need. So what you want to do is, you're looking at this section here, the bodice piece we're talking about. So this is where you've got they're kind of like rectangular sections with this pin dot detail around them. So it's just this front section, these like 6 rectangles. That is the area, and we're going to put the lights around that section, around the edge of that. So can you see in there that the lights are around that section? So what you want to do is you can actually just adhere your battery box to the bottom of your angel, and that makes it easier then because you kind of got it attached in one place. So then you want to start your lights. I'm going to actually track it on the outside, but this is what you want to do on the inside. You want to start your lights where the bottom of that section is. So that is glued to the bottom inside. This comes up and your lights start at the bottom of that bodice section. So you take it up the edge. Now you're just peeling the backing off as you go because it's a strong adhesive. Now when you turn the corner, you just crease it and fold it. Then you go around and across. When you get to the other edge, you just do the same. You just turn it and crease it. You come down. Then again at the bottom, you turn it and crease it. You come back round to where you started, and then here you would just get your scissors and snip along that line. Can you see there's a little black line just there? You just snip it across there. So you can snip it across any of those lines. So you're taking it up. Sorry, I keep going off camera. You take it up. You peel off this tape. So if you find that it's in there, you can get your little pokey tool, get underneath it and loosen it, and then what I'll do is I will slide my scissors in, slide my pokey tool, and there. So I've started it off that end, and then I would start gluing that end. So I've come up, I'm going up, across, down, back to where I started, and then I snipped it off. And it's as simple as that. I've done the carol singer. Now, like I say, if my capes arrive and they do fit, then I will share those with you. But at the moment, this is my carol singer with her little carol book of carols. I put some gilding wax on it, but that is a die that comes in the kit. I'll go through all the extra little dies in a minute. Do a separate little video for you, but she's freestanding. I say she. If it's one of the three kings, it might be a he. If it's Santa, it might be a he. I've got some do you know what, whenever I see anything like this that I love, I just pick it up, and I never know what I'm going to do with it, but I just think it's too good to leave. I'm going to pick it up when I see it. Now if I was to put that around the edge, look, she'd look like Mrs. Claus. How cool would that be? And then you could put it around her cloak. How lovely would that be? And then on their sleeves. So there are lots of different characters that you can make from this kit. Keep an eye on the group because the inspiration team are going to start sharing some ideas with us all. Please share any that you make with us. We'd love to see them because I know that you come up with some of the greatest ideas.